There's something strange happening with some Pixel 10 Pro units, and it's not a bug you can fix with an update. Imagine pulling out your phone, turning on the flashlight like you always do, and later realizing that the flashlight may have actually damaged itself. Before we jump in, make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit that like button. It really helps me keep bringing you more tech breakdowns like this one. Yeah, that's exactly what a small number of Pixel 10 Pro owners are now reporting. At first, it sounds almost unbelievable. Flashlights on smartphones are supposed to be simple, reliable, and honestly, kind of boring. They just work. But recently, multiple users have shared photos and experiences suggesting that the Pixel 10 Pro's flashlight can get so hot that it may actually burn or damage its own lens. And that's where things get interesting. According to several reports popping up across Reddit, some users noticed unusual marks forming right in the center of the flashlight module. In one case, a user shared a close-up image showing what looks like a dark, charred spot, almost like a tiny burn hole, right where the light is strongest. Others didn't necessarily see damage right away, but they did notice something else: heat. A lot of it. Some users say the flashlight becomes unusually hot during extended use, and in at least one situation, the phone was left in a pocket with the flashlight still turned on. Now think about that for a second. No airflow, constant light output, heat building up with nowhere to go. That's basically a worst-case scenario for thermal buildup. There's even a report claiming that a Pixel 10 Pro XL got hot enough to leave a burn mark on a keyboard's palm rest when placed face down with the flashlight on. That's not just warm, that's seriously hot. But before jumping to conclusions, there's an important twist here. Not every mark people are seeing is actually damage. A lot of Pixel users have noticed a small orange or yellow dot inside the flashlight and assumed something was wrong. In reality, that's just the LED emitter itself, visible beneath the diffuser. It's completely normal and shows up even on brand new devices. So now we've got two things happening at once: real reports of possible heat damage and a wave of confusion caused by normal hardware design. And that makes this whole situation harder to pin down. Because on one hand, some of the darker, irregular marks being shared do look like genuine damage. On the other hand, some users are mistaking standard components for defects. So the big question becomes, is this a real issue or just a few isolated cases getting amplified? There's another detail that adds a bit more context. Google recently introduced an adjustable flashlight brightness slider with Android 16 QPR3. That means users can push the flashlight beyond its default intensity. Now, there's no confirmed connection between this feature and the overheating reports, but it does raise a reasonable question. If users are cranking brightness higher than before, could that be contributing to increased heat output? It's not proven, but it's definitely something to keep in mind. What makes this more concerning is that modern smartphones are supposed to have thermal safeguards in place. These systems are designed to reduce brightness or shut things down entirely if temperatures get too high. So if the flashlight is actually reaching levels where it can damage its own components, it suggests those safeguards might not always be kicking in as expected. And that's a bigger deal than it sounds, especially for a flagship phone that starts at $999. To be fair, the number of reported cases is still small. This doesn't appear to be a widespread issue affecting every device. Right now, it looks more like an edge case rather than a full-blown design flaw. But even rare problems matter when they involve potential hardware damage. And it also adds to a growing list of quirks the Pixel 10 series has faced since launch. Things like touchscreen issues after updates, connectivity problems, and random app crashes. None of these are catastrophic on their own, but together they paint a picture of a slightly rough rollout. So what should you actually take away from all this? If you're using a Pixel 10 Pro, there's no need to panic, but it's worth being a bit mindful. Avoid leaving the flashlight on for long periods, especially in enclosed spaces like pockets or bags where heat can build up quickly. And if you do notice a new dark or burnt-looking mark on the flashlight lens, don't ignore it. That's something worth checking with support, especially while your device is still under warranty. Because at the end of the day, a flagship phone shouldn't be running the risk of damaging itself from something as basic as a flashlight, even if it's rare. For now, this is one of those keep an eye on it situations. Not a crisis, but definitely not something to completely dismiss. What's your thoughts on this? Let me know in the comments section. See you in the next video. Take care.